Hello again, okay, here in this video. There's this dumbass, that's right, there's this little clown. Anyhow, this dumbass, he proceeded to watch a video I made yesterday that actually led from one story to another story that talked about more than one thing in life, but it was way over his head. He couldn't understand it because it's way over his head because it's above his intelligent range, okay? It's above his IQ. But of course, he wants to act smart, okay? And he don't want you to know that it's above his IQ. So to keep you from knowing it's above his IQ, he made a video. And in his video, well, he made a dumbass of himself, okay? I'm going to show you a couple things he said. First off, I want to say a few things, okay? About the media, yes. He thinks he knows so much about the media, okay? Yes, he knows so much about it. That's right. He knows so much about the media, he don't understand the first thing that's going on in life at all. And he shows the classic, well, he is. He's a classic example of what the television and the school system, that's right, the public school system, that's been controlled by our government. I know he's going to tell you the government don't control the school system too. But of course he will. He hasn't done no research on any of this stuff that he's going to tell you. He's going to tell you this because he believes he already knows everything, okay? That he already knows everything, okay? So he's going to tell you this. But he is a product of a corrupt school system and of a television set. And so he acts the way he acts. Oh, and this is funny too. He don't understand what TFL is. That's right, True Force Loneliness. So he does what all people do when they hear about True Force Loneliness and they don't understand it. They don't ask questions to understand it. They assume. That's right. They assume for other people. But he also shows what his idea of love is. Okay? Let me show you a couple things that this dipwit says, and I'll be right with you.
Makes sense. Now, the name of this group, and I've actually looked at a couple of their pages, and they're just basically a bunch of sad, lonely people. It's called TFL or something, or Truth Force Loneliness or something like that. Some bullshit. Whose fault is that you're lonely? Whose fault is that? That's your fault. That is your fucking fault, not everyone else's. You can't get laid. Whose fault is that? That's your fault. You don't, you can't get laid. You can't get laid. You can't get laid.
There you are. Did I ever say I was lonely? I don't recall ever saying I was lonely. Oh, you can't get laid. You can't get laid. Well, that's because this dipwit here, that's what he thinks love is. That's right. See, he's fallen into the bullshit that's been thrown in his face by the media, the fashion industry, the pornography, and peer pressure, group mentality thinking that was trained by a television set in a corrupt school system that didn't teach him the first thing of honesty. And he believes in love is sex. That's right. And so the first thing he does is assume for somebody else that the only thing they want is sex. That's because that's what he thinks life's about, sex. So he's going to say, well, it ain't my fault you can't get laid. Yeah, because that's love, yeah. That's the dumbness falling out of this guy's mouth. See, what is he? He's in his young 20s, going on 60, that's right. He knows more than anybody in the whole world, that's right. Because he's young now, he's an adult now, yeah. He turned an adult now, he's in his young 20s, and he knows so much, He's so educated and all, Not. He's a clown, okay? This guy here is a total clown. He didn't understand the first part of what I made in that video. But he didn't ask questions neither. It's like he don't understand TFL. But did you hear him ask questions? What is TFL? What's it about? What makes you think this? What makes you feel that? No. He didn't ask any of those questions. Let me show you why he don't ask anybody questions. Okay, I'll be right with you.
And I don't feel sorry for people in general. I don't care. I'm apathetic to it. I don't really give a shit. All I care about is my life.
That's right. All he cares about is his life. That's right. He's got a very, very, very low IQ, and he only cares about his life. That's right. He cares about nobody around him except for maybe immediate family. Maybe he cares about his mother. Maybe not. Okay? But just the same, there you go, people. His mindset, just exactly what the government wanted. Just exactly what the bankers, the government, the media wanted. Excuse me. He's a prime example. He's a classic prime example of the dumbing down of America. Okay? That's what you have in your face right there. He just got through assuming for 100 million men, not even counting women, that TFL, True Force Loneliness, don't exist. Would he go out of his way to send somebody a PM and ask people questions about something, try to understand it or see what they're thinking and where they're coming from first? No, he wouldn't do that. See, it's a lot easier for him just to assume. And that way he can pull his foot out of his mouth that's covered in the shit that he walked through because he had to assume. Okay? You already know what he thinks love is. He thinks love is sex, like all these other fools out here. When love isn't sex, that's how dumb he is. Okay? He hasn't got the ability to know what real love is. But how would he? He's young yet. He's in his 20s probably. And thinks he's going on 60. And he thinks he's making a movie. That has to be a joke. I'm sorry, son, but you ain't got the IQ of, I'm sorry. My video that you're responding to was way, 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 way above your IQ. You're like a broken record. A needle is stuck on the record. It's got a scratch. You can't get past the first part of that video. You keep going. And replaying it over and over your head. Can't get past it. See, that video you replied to was about more than one issue. But you were stuck like a broken record. Should have known that, though. Your IQ says that. So I'll tell you what. Do yourself a favor, because I know if anybody asked you what do you think about New World Order, you would say it's a conspiracy theory. I'm sure that you would. You'd say it's a conspiracy theory. You would say that we're all just nuts. That it's not really going on. That we're just nuts and nut jobs. Right? If we asked you what 9/11 was about, you would agree with what the media told you. I'm sure of that. Okay? Could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's probably what you would agree with. But you know what? It don't matter, because you need to do yourself a favor. You need to spend about 3 hours, and I'm serious, looking at the links in the more next to this video that I'm going to put there for you. Spend about the next 3 hours reading and researching these links that I'm about to provide for you. If you can't do that, then the only thing I can tell you is zip your mouth, son. Because little children like you have a lot of growing up to do yet. Okay? So why don't you practice trying to be the grown-up you're pretending to be? And do a little research. Because no, son, you don't already know everything there is. I know you think you do, but you don't. You're a long, 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 long ways from knowing everything, and you will never know everything. Never. I don't care if you live to be 60 years old, 70 years old, 80 years old. You will never know everything. This world's a big school, son, and you never quit learning. But you're too dipwit to know that, ain't you? Anyhow, people, to the next video, you have a good one. And Dipwit followed my advice and looked into more.